Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So for this video lecture, we will discuss exercise number 4. So pag-uusapan natin dito, paano naaapektuhan ng stock rights ang computation ng WAOSO. Okay, kaya ang requirement is for you to compute the basic earnings per share for the current year. So Carnation had 600,000 ordinary shares outstanding on January 1, 2020. During 2020, the entity issued rights to acquire one ordinary share at 10 pesos in the ratio of one new share for every 4 shares outstanding. The market value of the ordinary share immediately prior to the rights issue is 35. The rights were exercised on October 1, 2020. The net income for the current year is 8,550,000. So let us compute the basic earnings per share. So kung titignan natin, meron kang numerator. May net income na binigay. That is 8,550,000. So ang kailangan na lang natin, WAOSO. Di ba WAOSO is affected by your adjustment factor? Na ang formula ng adjustment factor ay fair value of shares right-on, meaning yung fair value ng shares na may kasamang value ng stock right, which is 35, divided by the fair value of the shares X-right. So pag sinabing fair value of shares X-right, yung walang kasamang stock rights. So to compute that is simply 35 minus yung value ng stock rights. Diba, i-assign natin value dyan ay yung kanyang theoretical value. Which is ang theoretical value, kung naalala mo sa formula, ang computation ay fair value of shares right-on, which is 35, minus the subscription price, which is 10. Tama ba? That is 10. Okay, minus 10. Divided by 4 plus 1. Diba yung plus 1 constant? So, ang lalabas dyan ay 25 divided by 5, that is 5. So, ang adjustment factor natin ay 35 over 30. So, yan yung gagamitin natin to compute WAOSO. So, in computing WAOSO, so January 1, meron pa raw 600,000 times the adjustment factor na 35 over 30 times. Hindi to times 12 over 12 ha. Ang adjustment factor ng stock rights, kung naalala mo, binanggit ko sa lecture, nag-a-apply lang hanggang sa date bago dumating yung exercise date. Di ba nagkaroon ng exercise date na October 1? Kaya yung adjustment factor natin, 9 over 12 lang. From January until October 1 lang, which is 9 months. So, ang lalabas dyan ay 525,000. Pagdating ng October 1, ang value na ng outstanding shares mo ay 750K. Saan galing yung 750K? Di ba magsisimula ka ng 600,000 plus yung galing sa stock rights na 150K. Yung 150K na yan, that is 600 divided by 4. So, ang bago mo ng balanse ay 750K. So, hindi mo na gagamitan ng adjustment factor kung hindi yung time-weighted factor na lang, na 3 over 12. So, ang lalabas dyan ay 187,500. Kaya naman, ang WAOSO natin ay 712,500. So, pag in-apply natin dito yan, o walang ka-challenge, ang basic EPS natin is exactly 12 pesos per share. Totally no-brainer. Di ba siya lang medyo kakaiba from all the computations that we discussed from exercise 1 to exercise 3? Kasi nga, ang adjustment factor niya, unlike kanina sa stock dividend sa share split, nag-a-apply from the previous dates hanggang dulo. Dito, yung adjustment factor nag-a-apply lang hanggang October 1, which is the exercise date. Okay, so again, thank you so much for listening. See you on the next video lecture and may God bless you all. Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So for this video lecture, we will discuss exercise number 5. So sa exercise 5, ang focus natin ay diluted EPS or computation of diluted EPS for convertible preference shares. So ang requirements ay compute for the basic earnings per share and diluted earnings per share during 2020. And then letter B, assuming the preference shares were actually converted on July 1. So nagkaroon ng actual conversion during the year. Compute for the basic EPS and diluted EPS in 2020. Assume that the current year dividends on preference shares were declared and paid before actual conversion. So let us read the given information. Sunflower had the following capital structure during 2020. Convertible preference shares, 10 par value, 6% cumulative, 1 million. Ordinary shares, 10 par value, 4 million. So each preference shares is convertible into 2 ordinary shares. Profit after tax in 2020 is 2.4 million. Okay, so let us compute under letter A, yung basic EPS saka diluted EPS. Pero sabi ko nga, kahit na diluted EPS ang tinatanong lang, please compute first for the basic EPS to know if the effect is dilutive or anti-dilutive. Okay, basic EPS tayo. So ang basic EPS ay ang numerator net income na 2.4 million minus yung preference shares, dahil yan ay cumulative, whether declared or not. Tama, babawasan natin ng 1-year dividend. And the 1-year dividend is 1 million times 6%. Sinorted ko na, kasi ang tamang computation nito dapat 10 o 6% ng 10 pesos, tapos ang ating number of outstanding ordinary shares ng outstanding preference shares ay 100,000. So again pwede ang gawin mo computation ay ito or pwede 6% ng 10 piso na par value times yung number of outstanding preference shares which is 100,000. Ang lalabas dyan ay 60,000. Tama ba? 6 pesos times dapat 10,000 lang ito. Tama, o 1 million divided by 10. Check na natin. 1 million divided by 10. O 100,000 times 0.06 times 10. O 60,000. Tama pala 60,000, sorry. Okay, so 60,000 ito. Then, divided by, syempre kapag basic EPS, ang kasama lang ay actual shares lang. So doon sa convertible preference shares ba, according to the original computation or original given information, meron bang actual conversion during the year? Wala. So dahil wala, ang ating waoso lang ay 400,000. Okay, 400,000 lang ang ating waoso. That is 4 million divided by 10 pesos. So ang lalabas na basic EPS dyan ay 5.85 pesos per share. So again, I'll repeat ito yung normal computation natin. Isasama mo siya dito kung may actual conversion. Wala namang sinabi. So ang laman lang nito, yung ordinary shares lang na 400,000. Ang waoso mo ay 400 times 12 over 12 kasi outstanding yan at the beginning of the year. Okay, next. Diluted EPS. Ayan. Sa diluted EPS, ang numerator na lang natin, 2.4 million na lang. Tama ba? I-assume natin na as if yung convertible preference shares ay na-convert during the year. So kung na-convert yan, walang na-declare na preferred dividends during the year. Kaya wala tayong i-minus. Sa denominator, ang denominator natin ay 400,000, yung original, plus, plus 100,000 times 2. Saan galing yung 100,000 times 2? Di ba ang sabi, bawat isang preference share convertible into 2 ordinary shares. Ayan o, meron kang 100,000 na preference shares. Times 2, 200,000. So dahil sila ay hawak mo noong January 1, as if ito naging ordinary shares, January 1 pa lang. So ang multiplier nito times 12 over 12 din. Kaya hindi ko na ginawang ganon na nag-multiply pa ako ng 12 over 12. Kasi nga lahat sila January 1 hawak ng company. Di ba napakasimple ng as-if method? I-assume mo lang simula umpisa, naging ordinary shares na sila. Hindi simula umpisa talaga na January 1 simula nung nahawakan mo sila. Simula nung sila ay naging outstanding. Okay, so ang lalabas dito ay 4 pesos per share. Anong nangyari? Bumaba ba? Yes. Dahil bumaba, it is dilutive, so the answer is 4 pesos. Kasi sabi ko nga kung anti-dilutive, ang sagot natin ito pa rin, 5.85. Walang ka-challenge. Totally no-brainer. O next, letter B. Basic EPS ulit tayo. So anong pinagkaiba ng computation natin sa A saka sa B? Sa B, nagkaroon daw ng actual conversion noong July 1. So take note, kailangan sabihin kung na-declare ba yung dividend bago magkaroon ng conversion. Kasi imagine mo July 1, yung preference shares naging ordinary shares. Kung nag-declare ka after July 1, ibig sabihin, yung dividend sa dineclare mo, hindi kasama yung preferred shares. Kung ito lang ang preferred shares mo, parang imposible yata yun. Magdi-declare ka ng dividend sa preference shares na wala ka ng dividends na hawak. Wala ka ng dividends. Wala ka ng preference shares na hawak. Kasi ordinary shares na sila noong July 1. Kaya nga dito, ang basis ng basic earnings per share palagi ay actual. Ito ang basis ng diluted earnings per share ay actual plus potential. So yung potential, sabi ko nga, gagamitan mo ng as-if method. So dito, ang numerator natin, ganun pa rin. 2.4 million minus 1 million times 6%. Okay? Kasi sinabi, nag-declare bago ma-convert So ibig sabihin, totoo na mayroon talagang dineclare na preferred dividends during the year. Next, divided by, ang denominator natin this time ay 400,000 plus 100,000 times 2 times 6 over 12. Pansinin mo, sinama na natin sa computation ng basic EPS yung sa convertible preference shares. Kasi nga, may actual conversion. Nagkaroon ng actual issuance of the shares during the year. At ang actual issuance niya ay 200,000. Di ba pa nagko-compute ng WAOSO, imumultiply mo yan sa time-weighted factor para makuha yung weighted average amount niya. So kung na-convert yan ng July 1, di ang number of months outstanding lang yan ay July 1 hanggang December 31. That is times 6 over 12. Kaya ang ating basic EPS ay 4.80 per share. Okay, so ang basic EPS ay 4.80. Next, punta tayo ng diluted EPS. Sabi ko nga sa diluted EPS, regardless kung nagkaroon man ng conversion o exercise during the year, okay, ang computation natin dito would be the same sa numerator. Sa denominator, that is also the same. Bakit? Kasi wala tayong pakialam kung kailan siya actually na-convert. Ang pakialam natin sa diluted EPS as if method. So, from the moment na naging outstanding yan, ang assumption as if ordinary shares na sila. Kailan ba hawak yan? Di ba hawak to January 1? So, ang assumption, January 1, ordinary shares na siya. Kaya ang multiplier mo pa rin, 12 over 12. Dito, dahil actual ang gamit natin, kung kailan siya actual na na-convert, yun yung bilang ng number of months outstanding, which is July 1, kaya minultiply mo sa 6 over 12. Ito, 12 over 12, kasi sabi ko nga, for the 100 million times na, parang 100 million sila, OA mo ha. So, paulit-ulit na ako, pag diluted EPS, EPS as if method regardless of actual conversion. Wala tayong pakialam kung kailan siya actually na-convert. Ang pakialam sa diluted EPS, from the moment na naging outstanding, ordinary shares na siya. Yun ang kanyang assumption. Kaya naman, ang diluted EPS nito ay ganun pa rin, 4.00. Dahil bumaba, dilutive. Okay? So, these are the answers for exercise number 5. Walang ka-challenge, sir. Hindi na ako matatakot sa diluted EPS. Sobrang dali lang pala. Di ba napaka-basic ng concept niya? Mukha lang mahirap, pero totally no-brainer. Di ba? So again, thank you so much for listening. See you on the next video lecture and may God bless you all. Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So for this video lecture, we will discuss exercise number 6. So sa exercise 6, ang focus pa rin natin ay computation ng diluted EPS for convertible preference shares. So anong pinagkaiba nito sa exercise 5? Yun ang malalaman natin by answering this exercise. Kasi medyo may konting trick yung exercise. Bakit konting trick, sir? Pansinin mo, ang pinapakompute lang sa'yo ay diluted EPS. So let us read the given information. On December 31, 2020, Santan had 200,000 ordinary shares outstanding with a par value of 100 pesos per share. In addition, Santan had convertible preference shares which are convertible into 30,000 ordinary shares. So sinabi na ng problem, ilang ordinary shares ang mag-generate pag na-convert itong preference shares na ito. On December 31, 2020, Santan reported profit of 1.2 million and paid 200,000 dividends to preference shares equal to the annual fixed dividend. So again, ang computation, how much is the diluted EPS? Okay, so diluted EPS tayo, ang numerator niya ay yung net income na 1.2 million. Tama ba? Hindi mo babawasan ng preferred dividends kasi nga ang assumption as if naging ordinary share siya from the moment they become outstanding. So again, wala tayong babawas na preferred dividends. Divided by, okay, ang gagamitin natin ay actual ordinary shares plus potential na magkano? 30,000. So pareho yan ang multiplier, 12/12, kasi outstanding all throughout the year daw. Kaya ang diluted EPS natin for exercise number 6 is 5.22. Pag natapos, dire-diretso ka. Pag tingin mo sa multiple choice, oy, 5.22, ang saya-saya mo. Pero 5.22 is wrong. Bakit mali na naman ako, sir? Bad trip, no? Bakit mali na naman ako, sir? Kita-kita ko lahat sinunod ko. Wala akong mali sa pagkakagawa ko. Yes, wala naman talagang mali dito. Ang mali mo lang ay hindi mo muna chinek yung basic earnings per share. Diba sabi ko nga, kahit na diluted lang ang nire-require ng problem, computin nyo pa rin ang basic earnings per share. At ang basic earnings per share is computed as 1.2 million minus the preferred dividend of 200,000 divided by, ang ilalagay mo lang, actual. Kasi hindi naman sinabi na nagkaroon ng actual conversion eh. So, ang ilalagay mo lang, 200,000 lang. Kasi potential lang to eh. Hindi naman sinabi na nagkaroon ng actual conversion during the year. So, ang basic EPS natin ay exactly 5 pesos. Ano nangyari? From 5, naging 5.22, so nagkaroon ng increase. So, di ba kapag ganyan, it is anti-dilutive. So, pag anti-dilutive, hindi mo ipepresent yung 5.22. Ang ipepresent mo pa rin sa diluted EPS ay 5 pesos per share. Actually, this is for conservatism purposes eh, para hindi ma-deceive ang ating mga user. Okay? So, these are the answers for exercise number 6. So, thank you so much for listening. So, yun yung sinasabi kong trick nitong problem na to. So, kailangan mo munang computein to know that this is the correct answer. So, again, thank you so much. See you on the next video lecture and may God bless you all. Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So, for this video lecture, we will discuss exercise number 7. So sa exercise 7, ang focus natin ay computation ng diluted EPS wherein yung potential ordinary shares natin ay manggagaling sa convertible bonds. Meaning, we will account or we will compute your diluted earnings per share with an effect coming from your convertible bonds. Okay, so let us read the requirements of exercise 7. So ang requirements ay you need to compute the following from A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, so meron tayong 5 requirements for exercise number 7. So let us read the given information. On January 1, 2020, Rose has the following instruments outstanding. So as of January 1, outstanding na itong mga to, una, 400,000 shares or 400,000 ordinary shares. Pangalawa, convertible bonds issued at face value which is 3 million. Each 1 million or 1,000 bonds is convertible into 100 ordinary shares. So, 3 million divided by 1,000. So, ilang piraso ng bonds ang meron ka? So, 3 million divided by 1,000. So, meron kang 3,000 na piraso ng papel. Meron kang 3,000 na bonds. So, multiply that one by 100. So, 3 times 100. Ibig sabihin, if you will convert all of your bonds, in total, pwede ka makapag-convert o pwede siya makapag-convert ng 300,000 ordinary shares. Next, the entity is subject to 30% income tax. Rose has no other potentially dilutive securities. The following transactions occurred during 2020. So, April 1, nag-issue ka ng 100,000 ordinary shares at 20 pesos per share. July 1, nag-purchase ka ng ordinary shares o treasury shares at 15 pesos per share. October 1, nag-declare ka ng 20% stock dividends. And on December 31, you earned a net income worth 10,500,000. So for letter A, ang requirement is for you to compute your basic EPS as well as diluted EPS. Okay, unahin natin yung iyong basic EPS. Okay, so to compute your basic EPS, that is simply your net income for that year, which is 10.5 million. Okay, 10.5 million, less preferred dividends, na wala namang preferred dividends sa problem, no? Divided by your WAOSO. Tama? So, to compute your WAOSO, magsisimula tayo ng January 1. Okay, January 1 na magkano? January 1, that is 400,000. Again, i-account na natin yung mga share dividends sa share split. So, sa problem, isa lang naman yun, stock dividends lang. So, i-multiply natin ng 1.20 times 12 over 12. Okay, so that is 480,000. Next date is July 1. Tatlo lang pala ito, no? July 1. Ano nangyari ng July 1? Nag-issue ka ng shares, 100,000. Hindi pala, April pa pala, sorry. Naduling pala ako. May April pa pala. Sorry. Okay, April 1 pa pala. 4 pala to. April 1, which is 100,000, again, multiplied by 1.20 times 8 over 12. O, 9 over 12, sorry, 9 over 12. Tatlong buwan pa lang pala lumilipas. So, ang lalabas po dyan ay 90,000. Next is July 1. July 1, nag-purchase ka ng treasury shares. So, that is, ilan yun? 40,000. Times 1.20 as well, times 6 over 12. Okay, so that is minus 24,000. So, ang iyong WAOSO for basic EPS computation is, okay, 546,000. Okay, so divide this one by 546,000. So, ang basic EPS natin ay walang ka-challenge na 19.23 pesos per share. Okay, walang kahirap-hirap sir. Super basic. Next, Let us compute naman your diluted EPS. Sabi ko nga, in terms of diluted EPS, saka basic EPS, wala namang pinagbagong computation yan eh. Tama, as in, ang computation pa rin natin ay net income less preferred dividends divided by WAOSO. Tama din pa rin naman ang computation yan kung tutuusin eh. Yun nga lang, kailangan mong i-account yung effect ng potential ordinary shares. Kasi take note, pag nagko-compute tayo ng basic EPS, ang nilalagay lang natin dito, lahat ng actual issuances or actual effect sa outstanding shares. Pero pag diluted EPS ng pinag-uusapan, i-account, I think nabanggit ko naman sa mga previous exercises, ang ating ina-account na ay pati isasama natin sa computation yung effect ng potential ordinary shares. Meaning, according to diluted EPS, we will use your as-if method. Diba? As if, kasi potential pa lang yan eh. Hindi pa naman siya talaga actually nako-convert itong convertible bonds. Pero according to diluted EPS concept, we will use the as-if method. Meaning, as if na-convert na siya as of the date of issuance. Okay, which is, hindi natin alam kung kailan na-issue itong convertible bonds, pero alam natin, January 1, hawak na natin yan. In other words, i-assume natin na as if January 1, na-convert na siya as actual shares. Yun yung tinatawag natin as if method. Napakasimple lang. Kaya nga pagdating sa net income, supposedly, ang net income natin, 10.5 million pa rin. Ayan. Tapos, pagdating sa WAOSO, okay, pwede natin actually gamitin na to eh, yung 546,000 eh. Ang gagawin lang natin, yung WAOSO ng basic earnings per share, okay, WAOSO ng basic earnings per share, na 546,000, dadagdagan lang natin. Madadagdagan lang natin nung galing sa convertible bonds, which is yung galing sa conversion ng convertible bonds na i-assume natin kailan? January 1. Tama, i-assume natin January 1. That is, ilan nga sabi ko kayo ng total amount? 300,000, no? Tama, kasi 3,000 na papel ang meron ka. 3,000 multiplied by 100, 300,000 shares yun. Times 1.20. Okay, times 1.20. Remember, i-accountan din natin yan ito ng share split. Don't forget that. Times 1.20 times 12 over 12. Okay, so 300,000 times 1.20 times 12 over 12. So, ang lalabas po dyan ay 1.20. That is 360,000. Okay, therefore, ang WAOSO natin for diluted earnings per share is how much? Ang lalabas po dyan ay plus 546, that is 906,000. Okay? So, divided by 906,000. Diba, ganun lang siya kasimple, hindi siya nag-iba. Wala nag-iba sa computation ng basic EPS, papuntang diluted. Pareho lang. Ginawa naman sa ibang exercises yun eh. Yun nga lang, i-account mo lang yung effect ng as-if method. Paano kung as if January 1 pa lang, which is yung date of outstanding, date kung kailan siya naging outstanding, ay na-convert na siya o naging actual issuance na siya. Which is, kung gano'n na mangyayari, ang unang effect nun sa ating WAOSO. Tama, hindi na 546. Kasi sa 546, hindi natin sinama yung 300,000 na galing sa convertible bonds. Kasi hindi pa naman siya actually nako-convert. Tama ba? Hindi pa siya actually nako-convert. Pero dito sa diluted EPS, i-assume natin na as if na-convert siya, kailan? Either the date of issuance, kung ngayong taon siya na-issue, or kung kailan siya naging outstanding, which is a problem, January 1. So kung January 1, ina-assume natin na na-convert na siya into actual ordinary shares, so 300,000 in total yan, mumultiplyan mo rin yan ng 1.20. Kasi maapektuhan din na share split yan if ever. Okay, then multiply it by 12 over 12. Diba napaka-simple, napaka-basic, wala pa rin ka-challenge, totally no-brainer. Pero hindi pa tayo tapos. Kasi kung isipin mo, kung actually na-convert siya ng January 1, dapat wala tayong interest expense for the year. Tama ako? Dapat wala tayong interest expense for the year. Naiintindihan pa ba ako dun, guys? Kasi kung January 1, actual shares na to, di wala na akong bonds as of January 1, o wala na akong bonds payable as of January 1. So dapat wala na akong interest expense. Kasi yun ang ina-assume ng diluted EPS eh. So kung wala na akong interest expense, alam ko ang interest expense papasok sa net income. So, i-reverse ko yung effect nun. I-add back ko siya. Okay? Kaya sa numerator, mag-a-add back ka ng interest expense. That's the reason kung bakit sa formula sa mga libro, sa textbook, nag-a-add back na interest expense sa numerator. Kasi nga, i-assume, using as if method, na yan ay na-convert na kung kailan siya naging outstanding. So, kung na-convert na siya into actual shares, di wala na akong bonds payable. So, kung wala na akong bonds payable, dapat wala akong interest expense na binayaran. So, ang interest expense supposedly, okay, sa totoong buhay, ang binayaran mo interest expense is from January 1 to December 31. Tama ba? So, i-add back ko yung interest expense for 1 year, which is ang interest expense for 1 year ay 3 million times 12%, that is I think 360,000. Pero ingat lang, dapat yan ay after tax. So, i-multiply mo pa ng 70%. Okay, ba't kailangan after tax yan? Kasi nung pumasok sa net income yan, later on tinaksan yan eh. Meron yung tax shield eh. Tama? That has a tax implication. Kaya dapat natin i-after tax. So, ang lalabas po na diluted EPS, which is the answer for letter A is, wait lang ha, 3 million times 0.12 times 0.7 plus 10,500,000 divided by 906,000, that is 11.86 per share. Okay? 11.86 pesos, o 87 rather, 87. 11.87 pesos per share, which is the answer for requirement letter A. Diba napakadali, napakasimple, walang kahirap-hirap, walang ka-challenge. Okay, so dire-diretso na natin to. Proceed tayo ng letter B. So again, ako kumukopya pa, pakipost na muna yung video, and then habang binubura ko yung mga items, at least nakakopya pa kayo. Okay, letter B tayo. Diba napakadali guys, diba? Kaya again, huwag kang matatakot sa diluted EPS. Napakadali ng diluted EPS. Marami na nahihirapan kasi hindi nila alam yung as-if method. Remember the as-if method. As if, kung kailan siya naging outstanding, naging actual share siya. Kahit na in reality, hindi pa naman. Kasi potential pa lang naman siya. Ayun na naman yung concept ng as-if method. Okay, letter B. Assuming the bonds were actually converted on October 1, compute the basic EPS and diluted EPS for 2020. For 2020 ba? Or, yes. Tama ba yung 2020? Yes, tama pala. For the year 2020. Okay, so letter B tayo, basic EPS na muna. So 10.5 million pa rin yan. Pagdating sa WAOSO, take note. Okay, pagdating sa WAOSO, ng basic EPS, same pa rin lahat. Except that, maglalagay tayo ng additional line item, which is October 1. Bakit, sir? Kasi nga nagkaroon ng actual conversion eh. Remember, pagdating sa basic EPS, ang nilalagay natin dyan, lahat ay actual items, actual effect sa outstanding shares. Dito lang naman mayroong mga potential kasi diluted to eh. Okay, we will account the effect of your potential ordinary shares. Dahil nagkaroon ng actual conversion ng bonds during the year, which is October 1 daw, di ibig sabihin, na-convert siya talaga actually na October 1, which is ang total na ay 300K. Kaya ngayon, i-multiply pa natin siya sa 1.20. Yes, i-multiply natin kasi saktong date yun eh. So, times 1.20 times 3/12. Okay, so ang lalabas po dyan ay 90,000. So, meaning ang ating WAOSO for basic earnings per share computation ay 636,000. Okay, 636,000 shares. So, if that's the case, ang denominator ko ay 636,000. So, ang ating basic earnings per share for letter B, ang ating basic EPS ay 16.51 pesos per share. 16.51 pesos per share. Diba? Again, sa letter A, wala kasing actual conversion, kaya wala tayong nilagay sa basic EPS. Sa letter B, meron na, kaya naglagay tayo. Next, ano effect niyan, sir, sa letter B? Sa diluted EPS. Okay, paano magiging effect niya? So, unahin muna natin effect niya sa WAOSO. So, take note, ang gagamitin pa rin natin WAOSO na basic earnings per share ay yung 546. Kasi nga hindi natin isasama yung 90,000 na galing sa actual conversion ng convertible bonds. Kasi i-assume natin kung kailan siya naging outstanding, doon na kagad siya mako-convert. Kahit na may actual conversion pa ngayong taon na to. Tama, pansinin mo, anong pinagkaiba ng letter A sa letter B? Di ba sa letter B, may actual conversion, sa A wala. So pagdating sa computation ng WAOSO, ng diluted earnings per share, okay, para maging formal yung computation, ang magiging computation mo, January 1, okay, una, yung 400,000 times 1.20 times 12 over 12, so that is 480K. Next, aside from that, ipapasok mo yung 300,000 na galing sa bonds times 1.20 times 12 over 12. Okay, which is, magkano nga ulit yun? That is 360,000, no? 360,000. Then ipapasok mo yung April 1 na 100K times 1.20 times 9 over 12, which is 90,000. Next ay July 1, 40K times 1.20 times 6 over 12, so minus 24K. So, ang iyong WAOSO for diluted earnings per share computation ay parang kapareho lang nung kanina to. As far as I know. 480 plus 360 plus 90 minus 24. Pareho lang nung kanina. Tama? 906,000. Bakit sir pareho lang? Kasi nga ang sabi ng as if method, i-assume natin na as if actually na-convert siya kung kailan siya naging outstanding. Kailan pa naging outstanding yung bonds? Di ba January 1? I-assume natin na as if January 1 pa lang na-convert siya. Kaya sa pagko-complete ng WAOSO for diluted earnings per share, ang ipapasok mo siya sa computation kung kailan siya naging outstanding. Dito sa basic earnings per share, pumasok siya sa computation kung kailan lang siya actually na-convert. Kasi actual palagi lahat ng effect dapat sa outstanding shares ang nilalagay natin sa WAOSO ng basic earnings eh. Kaya nga di ba sa letter A, dahil walang actual conversion, wala siya sa basic EPS. Pumasok na siya sa diluted. Sa letter B, dahil may actual conversion, yung actual conversion date, yung i-account mo for basic EPS. Sa diluted EPS, not the actual conversion date, the outstanding date. Kung kailan siya naging outstanding, doon pa lang lahat mako-convert na as ordinary shares. So clear tayo dun guys, clear kasi buo siya. As of January 1, ang assumption na convert na lahat. So hindi mo na siya ipapasok ulit na October 1. Kaya nga di ba kanina, ang ginamit ko pa rin yung original na WAOSO. Tapos idadagdag ko na lang ulit to. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng gamitin tong 636 kasi pumasok siya noong October 1. I-assume nga natin simula umpisa kung kailan siya naging outstanding, doon siya mako-convert as ordinary shares. Eh di sir, pareho lang ang sagot sa diluted earnings per share. Ay hindi po pareho. Kasi kung titignan natin, pagdating sa interest expense, dahil nagkaroon ng actual conversion na October 1, gano'ng karami lang na interest ang binayaran mo? Hindi buong 360,000. Tama? Kasi ang 360,000 from January 1 to December 31 eh. Sa letter A kasi walang actual conversion. So sa totoong buhay, ibig sabihin, as of December 31, may bonds ka pa rin. Kaya ang binayaran mo interest sa letter A, simula January hanggang December. Sa letter B kasi nagkaroon ng actual conversion. Kaya naman, ang binayaran mo na ng interest expense for the year is from January to October 1 lang. Kaya naman, ang i-add back mo lang dito ay yung amount lang na yun. Which is, ang amount lang nun ay... Okay, so nawala na naman siya. Ang amount lang nun ay 360,000 times 9 over 12. That is 270,000. So clear tayo dun guys kung bakit naging 270,000 to minultiply ko siya by 9 over 12. Times 70% plus 10.5 million divided by 270 times 0.7 plus 10.5 million divided by 906,000. Wait lang, parang nawala. Ba't mali computation ko? 270 times 0.7 plus 10.5 million divided by 906. So, lalabas dito ay 11.79. 11.79? 11.80 na kasi pag niround to. Ang lalabas ay 11.80 per share. So, these are the answers for requirement letter B. Basic na basic pa rin, sir. Alam mo naman, medyo kinakabahan ako kanina. Akala ko mahirap, yun naman pala ay hindi. So again, huwag kakalimutan na, i-multiply pa rin ng 1.20. Naintindihan guys, yung pinagkaiba ng letter A sa letter B. Basic pa rin. Wala pa rin kahirap-hirap. Next is letter C. Sa letter C, ang sabi ng letter C ay assuming the bonds were issued July 1, but not exercised during the year. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi siya na-exercise during the year, walang actual conversion. So, magkano ang basic EPS at saka diluted EPS for the current year. Pagdating sa basic EPS, dahil walang conversion, tatanggalin mo ulit ito. Dahil wala namang actual conversion eh. Tama. Ang sabi lang, in-issue siya ng July 1. Pero walang actual conversion. Tama ba? So kung walang actual conversion, ang magiging waoso mo lang ulit, babalik ka ulit sa umpisa. Which is ang waoso mo sa umpisa ay 546. Diba? Pero 46 pa rin ito. Kaya naman, pagdating dito, babalik ka ulit ng 546, edi same yung sagot mo sa letter A. Diba? Same as letter A ang sagot natin for letter C, which is, your basic EPS ay 19.23 pesos per share. 19.23 pesos per share. Okay, basic sir. Wala pa rin ka-challenge. Next, pagdating sa diluted EPS, anong assumption? Dahil walang actual conversion, actually, pagdating nga sa diluted EPS, to be honest, wala ka naman pakailan kung may actual conversion o wala eh. Take note, wala kang pakailan kung may actual conversion o wala sa WAOSO computation. Pero sa interest expense computation na i-add back mo sa numerator, may effect, kailangan may pakailan ka kasi may effect kung kailan nagkaroon ng actual conversion. Para sa letter B lang kanina, dahil nagkaroon ng actual conversion sa letter B no October 1, edi ang interest expense na binayaran mo lang for the year from January to October lang. May effect siya sa interest expense. Pero sa WAOSO computation, wala effect kahit kailan ka pa nagkaroon ng actual conversion. Kasi i-assume nga kung kailan siya naging outstanding, automatic na convert na kagad siya. Yun yung tinatawag na as if method for diluted EPS computation. Na ang sabi ng letter C, what if na-issue yung bonds July 1 of the current year? Okay, what if na-issue ang bonds July 1 of the current year? Eh di kung July 1 as of the current year yan, i-assume natin sa diluted EPS, eh di July 1 siya pumasok. Okay, so 300,000 times 1.20 times 6 over 12. Okay, so ang lalabas po niya sa letter C, okay, ang lalabas ay 300 o 360 times 6 over 12, so magiging 180,000. Kaya naman, ang iyong WAOSO for letter C is how much? Ang ating WAOSO ay, nasa na ba yun? Minus 24 plus 90 plus 480, that is 726,000. So, ang iyong denominator ay 726. Pagdating sa numerator, yes, wala namang actual conversion during the year, pero ang interest expense na binayaran mo, kalahating taon lang. Tama kasi from July 1 lang ang bonds hanggang December 31 eh. Then binayaran mo interest, so ang interest expense na nirecognize mo sa income statement, pang 6 over 12 lang o pang kalahating taon lang. So kung magkano ulit yun, 360,000 yan, no? Sa pagkakaalala ko. 3 million times 12% yun, no? So 360 divided by 2, kasi kalahati lang, 180,000 lang to. Tama ba? So sa letter C, that is 180,000 times 70% plus 10.5 million divided by 726. So ang lalabas ay 14.64 per share. And again, here are the answers for letter C. 14.64 pesos per share. Wala, basic pa rin, wala pa rin kahirap-hirap at wala pa rin ka-challenge. O next, tapusin natin to. Let us answer requirements D and requirements E. Requirements D and E tayo. Letter D. Using the original information. Original. Pag sinabi original, walang actual conversion. Tapos pag sinabi original, as if January 1, na January 1 pa lang outstanding na yung bonds. Okay, assuming o using the original information, but half of the bonds were actually converted. Nako, ang i-assume pala natin as if January 1, outstanding na yung bonds. Pero sa letter D, daladala natin na half o kalahati ng bonds ay actually na-convert ng July 1. Compute basic EPS and diluted EPS for 2020. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, daladala natin itong July 1 sa basic EPS. Tama ba? Kasi nagkaroon ng actual conversion eh. Pero kalahati lang. So, magkano yung kalahati ng 300,000? That is 150,000. Tama? Kasi may actual conversion. Kalahati nga lang. Times 1.20 times 6/12. So, ang ilalagay natin dito ay magkano? 90,000. Kaya naman, ang iyong waoso na for basic EPS ay 636,000. 636K. Okay, so 10.5 million divided by 636,000. So, ang lalabas na basic earnings per share for letter D is, nasa na yan? 16.51 pesos per share. Double check ko nga. 10.5 divided by 636. Ayan. 10.5 million divided by 636. That is 16.51 pesos per share. Okay. Next. Pagdating sa diluted EPS, sabi ko nga, sa WAOSO computation, regardless kung kailan nagkaroon ng actual conversion, regardless kung kalahati man, buo ang actual conversion, ang titignan mo lang ay yung date kung kailan siya naging outstanding. Eh di ba sabi ng letter D, as, using the original information, meaning as if January 1 ulit siya na-convert. Tama? Pagdating sa diluted EPS, so, as if January 1, yung buo ulit, 300,000. Di ba? Regardless of the actual conversion. Times 1.20 times 12 over 12. So, that is 360,000. Di ba? Babalik ka rin sa original information eh. Eh, sa original, January 1 pala outstanding na. Eh, as if January 1, na-convert na lahat. Take note, lahat yan, walang kalahati-kalahati. Lahat talaga yan pagdating sa diluted EPS. Okay? So, kaya naman, that is 480 plus 360 plus 90 minus 24. Ayan. Balik ka ulit sa original natin na WAOSO, which is 906,000. Diba? Wala pa rin ka-challenge ko sir. Napaka-basic pa rin. 906,000. Next, pagdating nga lang sa interest expense, ayan na. Meron na tayong concern. Kasi kung titignan mo, kung kalahati ng bonds, ito, wait lang, so ba pwede ilagay ito? Dito lang siguro. In terms of your interest expense, ayan, kalahati, which is 1.5 million na convert. Kalahati, hindi. So, in terms doon sa na-convert na kalahati, ang interest expense na binayaran mo dyan ay times 12% times, kailan siya actually na-convert, July 1, no? 6/12. Samantalang yung hindi na-convert, dahil isang buong taon outstanding yan in reality, ang binayaran mo, ang na-incur mo interest expense, isang buong taon. Tama? So, 1.5 times 12% times 12% times 6/12, this one is 90,000. Ito, buo ito, na 1.5 times 12%, which is 180,000. For a total of 270,000. Okay? So, kaya naman sa numerator natin, that is 270,000. Tama, o kalahati. Double check ko lang yung computation ko, ha. Okay, so tama naman. Okay. So, 90 plus 180, tama naman, no? Plus 180, 270. Times 0.7, so ito ay 270 na ulit. Times 0.7 plus 10.5 million divided by 906. So, ang lalabas ay 11.79 or 11.80 pesos per share. Ito, napakasimple. Again na, pagdating sa WAOSO, kahit kailan pa nagkaroon ng actual conversion, kalahati man o buo, ang concern natin, buong papasok yan, o i-assume natin na buong na-convert kung kailan naging outstanding. Yung mga actually na-convert, kalahati, etc., ang pinaka-effect talaga yun sa interest expense. Okay, so let us finish exercise 7 kasi medyo tumatagal na yung video. Okay, letter E tayo, letter E. So sa letter E, ang i-assume natin, assuming the bonds were issued on July 1 and exercise October 1. So assuming July 1 na-issue yung bonds at buo ay na-exercise ng October 1, compute basic EPS and diluted EPS. So again, babalik tayo dun sa concept na as if, okay, October 1 ulit, ayan na. October 1, sabi, di ba, October 1 nagkaroon ng actual exercise. So that is 300,000 times 1.20 times 3 over 12 ulit. Tama, so ang lalabas dyan ay 90,000, tama, kaya nga babalik tayo, ay mali, hindi pala. No, 90,000 din pala, no? Okay, 90,000. So, 636 din pala. Binura ko pa pala kanina, pareho lang pala yung amount. Okay, 636. So, ang lalabas dito, nagkataon lang yan guys, ha? Take note, nagkataon lang yan, ha? Baka sabihin mo, ay, kahit ano pala mangyari, pareho lang yung so nako. Bawal ka magkaroon ng ganong theory, ha? Nagkataon lang yan. Kaya ang lalabas na basic EPS natin ay 16.51 pesos per share pa rin. Okay, for basic EPS. Next, for diluted EPS, sabi ko nga, wala tayong pakialam kung kailan nagkaroon ng actual conversion for WAOSO. Ang concern lang natin kung kailan siya naging outstanding. At dahil naging outstanding siya o na-issue siya ng July 1, edi as if July 1, lahat na-convert. So, 300 times 1.20 times 6 over 12. Okay, so that is 360, 180,000. So, 480 plus 90 minus 24 plus 180, ang lalabas po dyan ay 726,000. As ito wala na pala tayo. Kasi baka nag-screenshot kayo ng answer per exercise. So wala na ito sa baba. Ayan. So ang ating denominator na ay 726,000 na. Okay, 726K. Pagdating sa numerator, yung effect ng interest expense, dahil nagkaroon ng actual conversion ng October 1, edi gano'n lang katagal naging outstanding yung bonds. So, July, August, September. So, 3 months lang ang interest expense mo. So, 360 times 3 over 12. Tama kasi gano'n lang katagal yung outstanding yung bonds eh. So, kung from July 1 tapos October 1 ay na-convert na, yung 3 buwan lang yung interest expense mo. So, that is 90,000. Tama ba? 90K. Okay, tama ba? Yes, 90K. Okay, so 90K times 0.7, that is 63,000, tama, plus 10.5 million divided by 726. So, ang lalabas po dito ay 14.55 pesos per share. Okay, 14.55 pesos per share. And that is the answer for letter E. Diba? Yes, medyo komplikado. Hindi mo sobrang komplikado guys eh. Basta tatandaan mo lang sa diluted EPS, ang titingnan mo lang as if method. Kung kailan siya actually naging outstanding, yun na. Ipapasok na siya ng buo, regardless of your actual conversion. Nagkaroon lang tayo ng problema sa actual conversion pagdating sa interest expense. Kasi ang i-add back natin talaga dyan ay yung amount na interest expense na binayaran mo lang during the year. Kasi nga i-assume na dahil na-convert na yung bonds, dapat wala ka ng interest expense. Diba? Kung na-convert ang bonds simula umpisa, wala ka na dapat interest expense. So ang i-add back mo dyan yung actual interest, syempre. Okay? So this will conclude our discussion for exercise number 7. Thank you so much for listening. See you on the next video lecture and may God bless you all. Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So for this video lecture, we will discuss exercise number 8. So sa exercise number 8, ang computation natin ay nakafocus pa rin sa diluted EPS, pero this time, yung potential ordinary shares ay manggagaling sa options. Okay, so let us read the requirements. Una, you need to compute the basic EPS and diluted EPS for the year 2022.
Requirement B, assuming daw the options were issued on July 1, compute the basic EPS and diluted EPS for 2022. So let us read the given information. Tulip has the following information. So net income or profit is 15 million. Ordinary shares, 100 pesos per 500,000 shares is for a total of 50 million. Employee stock options outstanding during the entire year. So sa unang assumption pala, sa letter A, we will assume na yung options outstanding as of January 1 of the current year. Sa letter B, i-assume na yung options ay outstanding as of July 1. So magbabago lang yan sa WAOSO basically. So option shares, 50,000. Fair value of each stock option is 20. Exercise price is 180. Average market price is 250. Ending market price is 400. Okay, so again, let us compute your basic EPS and diluted EPS for letter A. Okay, unahin natin yung basic EPS. Kasi yung basic EPS, walang ka-challenge eh. That is simply 10.5 million. Ay, 10.5 million. 15 pala, sorry. 15 million divided by 15 million divided by the ordinary shares outstanding. At ang ordinary shares outstanding lang ay 500,000 lang. Tama? Wala namang actual conversion eh. So yun lang yun. 500,000. So ang sagot ay 30 pesos per share. Diba? Yan na yun. So yun na kagad. Yes, yun na yun. For letter A. Tama? So sa letter B tayo ngayon mag-focus. Ayan. Let us compute your diluted EPS. Okay, in terms of your diluted EPS, ay walang ka-challenge ito. Okay, kasi ang kailangan lang natin dito, ito 15 million pa naman to, ay yung computation ng WAOSO. Eh di ba i-assume natin, according to diluted EPS, as if na-exercise itong option na to, as of the date kung kailan sila naging outstanding. Eh sa letter A, di ba i-assume natin na January 1? Pero iyan lang, ang papasok lang sa WAOSO computation ng diluted EPS ay yung tinatawag nating incremental shares lang. Di ba pag sinabi natin incremental shares, that is yung option shares. Okay, option shares, na magkano option shares natin? Ilan yung shares ng option? 50,000 less yung ating treasury shares assumed to be purchased. Tama, di pinag-usapan natin last time, assumed purchase. Okay, so ang ipapasok lang natin sa pag-compute ng WAOSO ay yung incremental shares lang. So ngayon, ang tanong, paano kino-compute yun, sir? Okay, paano kino-compute yung treasury shares assumed purchase? Di ba magsisimula ang computation natin sa option shares na 50,000 multiplied by your total exercise price. Exercise price ng total ay 180 plus 20 pesos. Okay, na fair value, that is 200. Okay. So ang dating, ito yung proceeds natin na nakuha, okay, from exercising the shares, which is 10 million. Divided by the average market price. The average market price of, average market price ay 250. So divided by 250. So ito yung tinatawag nating treasury shares assumed. Okay, or yung assumed treasury shares. Na ilan nga yan? That is 40,000. So ang incremental shares lang natin ay 10,000 lang. So kaya nagiging yung formula kasi nga ina-assume na in-exercise yung option. Eh di ba pa nag-exercise ng option yung kabilang party, nakakatanggap tayo ng pera? So yung total na tanggap natin pera, 10 million. So ina-assume na yung 10 million ginamit para i-buyback yung shares natin at the market. Kaya nga dinivide natin siya sa average market price. Para ang mangyari ay, kung ang option shares ko ay 10,000, okay, which is ibig sabihin nito, kapag nag-exercise ng option, 50,000 talaga yung makukuha or may issue natin, ibawas mo yung assumed treasury shares. Okay, para maidagdag lang natin ay yung incremental shares lang for WAOSO computation. Kaya pagdating sa diluted EPS, ang computation niyan ay 500,000 plus 10,000. Okay, so that is 29.41 pesos per share. Okay, 29.41 pesos per share. Hindi mo pala ito yung letter B, ito pala yung letter B. Okay, so again, here are the answers for letter A. Pwede sa letter B, same lang yung basic EPS. Okay, same lang. Ang magbabagong computation for letter B ay yung diluted EPS. Okay, yung basic EPS, pareho lang sa letter A. Ang magbabago yung diluted EPS. Kasi dito, kaya natin sinama siya ng buo kasi yung 10,000 ay dalagan natin sa WAOSO, ang assumption na convert yan January 1. Kasi yun yung assumption sa letter A eh. Assuming as of the beginning of the year, hawak mo na yung option. Sa letter B kasi, paano kung in-issue lang yung option July 1? Eh di pagdating sa denominator, okay, 15 million pa rin naman to. Pero pagdating sa denominator, yung 10,000, i-multiply mo sa 6/12. Kalahati lang. Kasi magiging outstanding lang siya, isasama mo na siya sa WAOSO kung kailan siya naging outstanding eh. So kung July 1 siya na-issue, ina-assume July 1 lang siya na-convert or na-exercise. So kung July 1, from July to December, 6/12 lang yun. Diba yun lang basically pinagkaiba nila? Kapareho lang siya ng concept sa mga previous exercises natin sa diluted EPS. Tama ba? So ang lalabas sa diluted EPS for requirement B is 29.70 pesos per share. 29.70 pesos per share. So again, here are the answers for exercise number 8. So again, sa letter B, sabi ko pareho lang yung basic EPS. Ang nagbago lang ay yung diluted EPS. Okay? So this will conclude our discussion for exercise number 8. Thank you so much for listening. See you on the next video lecture and may God bless you all. Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So for this video lecture, we will discuss exercise number 9. So sa exercise 9, ang focus pa rin natin, diluted EPS, tapos yung potential ordinary shares, magagaling pa rin sa options. Pero ang kaibahan ng 9 sa exercise 8 is that sa 9 may actual conversion or may actual exercise. So paano nun maapekto ng computation ng diluted earnings per share? So we will know as we read the requirements as well as the given information of exercise number 9. So requirement is for you to compute the basic EPS and diluted earnings per share for 2021. Pink rows had the following information as of January 1, 2021. So ordinary shares outstanding is 200,000, option shares ay 20,000, total exercise price is 150. On October 1, the options were actually exercised. As of this date, the following information was determined. So average market price is 200 and the market price on October 1, which is the exercise date, is 250. Pink Rose reported a profit of 2 million in 2021. So again, let us compute your basic EPS as well as the diluted EPS. Okay, basic EPS na muna tayo. In terms of your profit, given naman na yan, that is 2 million. Tama? So ang kailangan na lang ulit natin dito ay WAOSO. Dahil nagkaroon na actual exercise, edi ipapasok natin sa WAOSO yung option shares. So, computation ay January 1. Tama? January 1, 200,000 yun. Times 12/12. That is 200,000. Tapos, kailan nagkaroon ng actual conversion or actual exercise? Diba? October 1. So, papasok yung 20,000 by 250. 20,000 times 3/12. Kasi may actual exercise guys eh. So that is 5,000. So ang ating WAOSO for basic EPS computation ay walang kahirap-hirap na 205,000. So 2 million divided by 205,000, that is 9.76 pesos per share. Di ba napaka-basic? Wala pa rin kahirap-hirap at wala pa rin ka-challenge. Di ba ganun pa rin ang concept? Pag nagkaroon ng actual exercise, kahit na sa convertible bonds, convertible PS, at saka options, ganun pa rin ang rule. Saka lang siya papasok sa basic EPS. Kung wala, Eh, di wala effect sa basic EPS. Pero may exercise man, may actual exercise man o wala, definitely may effect yan sa computation ng diluted EPS. Sa numerator, ganun pa rin, 2 million. So, ang concept lang, kailangan na natin talaga dito ay yung computation ng WAOSO. Okay, so sabi nga natin, to compute WAOSO for diluted EPS purposes, ang nilalagay natin ay yung incremental shares lang. Eh, di ba, incremental shares is basically yung option shares. Na option shares natin ay 20,000. Tama? Minus your treasury shares. Diba? To compute treasury shares, that is your option shares na 20,000 multiplied by the exercise price, tama, which is 150. Sinorkat ko na lang guys kasi sa exercise 8, pinakita ko naman yung tamang format of computation eh. Dito sinorkat ko na lang. Diba supposedly ang gagawin mo 20,000 option shares multiplied by the option price or exercise price which is 150 divided by the market price. Sa exercise 8, kung naalala nyo, ang ginamit ko ay average market price. But take note, if there is an actual conversion or actual exercise of option, ang gagamitin nating market price ay yung market price on the conversion date or exercise date. So, ang gagamitin natin ay hindi 200, hindi yung average, but rather yung 250. Kaya yung market price at the date of conversion. Okay, so ang lalabas po dyan na number of treasury shares ay 12,000. So, ang incremental shares lang natin, okay, so ang ating incremental shares ay 8,000. Okay, kaya naman, pagdating sa pag-compute ng WAOSO, January 1, 200K times 12 over 12, that is 200,000. Okay, di ba supposedly, dun sa exercise 8, ipapasok mo siya sa WAOSO computation ng diluted EPS kung kailan siya outstanding. Eh, naging outstanding to January 1 eh. Tama? So, dapat ipapasok natin sa January 1 yung 8K. Which is somehow correct naman. Okay, that is somehow correct. Pero ingat lang, yung 8K, i-wait mo yung time niya from the day kung kailan siya naging outstanding hanggang sa magkaroon ng actual conversion. Yun ang kaibahan ng option shares o ng potential shares coming from options from convertible bonds and convertible PS. Pagdating sa diluted EPS ng options, sinasama yung actual conversion ng October 1. Okay, na 20,000 times 3 over 12. Okay, kaya naman, pagdating to sa 8,000 na incremental shares, i-wait mo lang siya from January 1 up to October 1, the date of exercise. Yun ang kaibahan ng options sa convertible bonds sa convertible preference shares. Kung naalala mo sa bonds at sa preference shares, kung nagsusolve tayo, wala tayong pakialam sa actual conversion. Sa options, meron. Kasi medyo kakaibang options guys eh. Kasi sa options, kung titignan natin, may exercise price, kinoconsider pa natin market price, etc. So ito yung tamang way of computing its WAOSO. Okay, so ang lalabas po dito ay 8 times 9 over 12. That is 6,000. Again, ingat lang kayo ha. I'll repeat, kapag option at may actual exercise, yung actual conversion may tama pareho sa basic at saka sa diluted. Kaya nga hiniwalay ko yung exercise 9 from exercise 8. Anyway, so 6K, that is next 5,000. So ang ating WAOSO for diluted EPS computation ay 211,000. Okay, so divided by 211,000, ang lalabas dito ay 9.48 pesos per share. Okay, so again, this will be the answers for exercise number 9. Okay, so thank you so much for listening guys. See you on the next video lecture and may God bless you all. Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So for this video lecture, we will discuss exercise number 10. So for this exercise, ang focus natin ay computation ng diluted EPS pero multiple ang potential ordinary shares. So let us read the given information. Sampaguita reported the following capital structure on December 31, 2020. Ordinary share capital, 110,000 shares.
Convertible non-cumulative preference share, 20,000. 10% convertible bonds payable, 2 million. Share option to purchase 20,000 shares at 15 pesos per outstanding. Market price of Sampaguita Corporation share was 22 pesos at December 31, 2020 and average 20 during the year. No value was assigned to the share options. The entity paid the annual dividend of 5 on the preference share. The preference shares are convertible into 40,000 ordinary shares. The 10% bonds are convertible into 30,000 ordinary shares. The net income for 2020 is 650,000. So the income tax rate is 30%. So again, compute for the diluted earnings per share. Okay? So, di ba ang rule, ang step number 1 dyan is for you to compute the basic EPS. Tama ba? So, basic EPS. Ang basic EPS natin ay net income na 650,000. 650,000. Okay, minus your preferred dividends. Ang ating preferred dividends ay, nasaan na yun? Ang annual dividend on the entity paid the annual dividend of 5 pesos on the preference share. So that is 5 minus 5 pesos per share times, ilan yung preference shares na outstanding? 20,000 shares. So I think 100,000 yan. Divided by the net income, divided by the WAOSO. So, ang WAOSO natin ay 110,000 shares. So, ang basic earnings per share natin is exactly 5 pesos per share. Okay, sir. Hindi ba dapat ibabawas ito kapag declared? Yes, sinabi the entity paid. So, we assume na nag-declare din siya during the year. Okay? So, 5 pesos per share. At ang binawas natin ay yung annual dividend kasi nga yun yung amount na binayaran niya. Di ba ang rule? Kapag non-cumulative, dapat declared para maibawas. Tapos ang ibabawas natin yung amount na dineclare, which is 5 pesos per share equivalent to its annual dividend. Okay? So, ang basic earnings per share natin ay 5 pesos per share. Next, let us rank them according to their dilutive effect on EPS. Di ba ang ranking, ang number 1 palagi ay options. Provided ang exercise price na, magkano yung exercise price? 15 pesos is lower than the average market price, which is 20 pesos. Okay, per option or per share. So, dahil mas mababa siya, then automatic dilutive ang option. At siya ang number 1. Okay, next. Puntahan natin ang convertible preference shares. Okay, so convertible PS. So, kailangan natin, di ba, kumulagay yung kanyang incremental EPS. So, paano malalaman yun? Di ba, ilalagay mo sa numerator yung impact niya sa numerator. At ang impact niya sa numerator, yung kanyang preferred dividend. Na ito yan, 100,000. Divided by yung ibibigay niyang potential ordinary shares na ang sabi ang preference shares convertible into 40,000 shares. So, ang incremental EPS nito ay 2.50. Tama? So, incremental EPS, 2.50. Pangatlo ay convertible bonds. Sa convertible bonds, ang impact niya sa numerator yung after-tax na interest expense. Which is ang after-tax interest expense niyan ay 2 million times the interest rate na 10% times 70%. Okay, divided by yung ibibigay niyang ordinary shares na kung sakaling ma-convert siya, that is 30,000. So, ang kanyang incremental EPS ay 4.67. So, based from this, I think nakachamba ko, tama yung pagkakarang ko. So, rank 1 ang option, rank 2 ang convertible preference shares, rank 3 ang convertible bonds. So, paisa-isa ang pasok niya sa computation ng EPS. Okay? So, nandito ang numerator. Okay? And then, denominator. Denominator para ma-compute ang EPS. Okay, kita pa ba dyan? Check ko lang muna ha. Okay, so kita pa naman. Ayan, so this would be our computation. Unahin natin yung basic. Ayan, ang numerator natin sa basic EPS, ayun, nandun sa kabila, 550. Ito yun, no? 550. Tapos, 110,000. So, ang EPS natin ay 5 pesos per share. Ipasok natin yung sa options. Okay, number 1. Ipasok natin yung sa options. So, ang pasok ng option sa numerator, wala. Walang tama sa numerator yan eh. Updated balance. Yan, updated na lang. Okay, updated numerator, updated denominator. Ang tama ng option ay nasa denominator. Wherein, ang tama niya sa denominator, yung potential OS. Eh di ba to compute potential OS, dadaan tayo sa treasury share method. Okay, so padaanin natin sa treasury share method to. Okay, wait lang ha. Ilagay ko lang para matansya ko yung espasyo. So, convertible PS, then updated ulit. Then, yung pangatlo ay convertible bonds, tapos updated. Ayan. Ganyan yung magiging strategy natin kasi paisa-isa ang pasok nila based on ranking eh. So, ilagay ko na lang dito yung computation ng potential ordinary shares ng option. Di ba ang kailangan natin ay yung option shares na magkano? Ilan yung option shares? Ang sabi, ang option shares ay 20,000. Kailangan natin ma-compute yung treasury shares. Paano kino-compute yung treasury shares? Di ba yung option shares na 20,000, i-multiply mo sa exercise price na 15. Tama ba? Pagka-multiply mo, ang makukompute mo dito, kung naalala mo, ay yung yung amount ng proceeds mula sa pagkaka-exercise ng option. Na yun yung gagamitin pambili ng shares at market price. At ang market price na gagamitin natin, yung average, which is divided by 20. Kaya naalala mo yan? Naalala mo yung treasury shares? 20,000 times 15, ito yung perang nakuha from the exercise. I-divide mo sa average market price, makukuha mo yung treasury shares. Kasi ito yung gagamitin presyo pambili. So, ang number ng shares na nabili natin, assuming by using treasury share method, ay 15,000. Kaya naman, ang ating potential ordinary shares for option, potential ordinary shares or your incremental ordinary shares ay 5,000. So, 5,000 ang ilalagay mo dito. So, ang updated numerator natin, 550. Ang updated denominator, 150. So, pag dinivide ko yan, ang aking updated EPS ay 4.78. Okay, so 4.78, bumaba, walang problema. Next, convertible preference share. Ano ang tama sa numerator niyan? Ito, 100,000. So, napapansin mo na ba? Nagigets mo na ba kung bakit ka pinapakompute nito? Para malaman kung ano yung tama niya sa numerator saka denominator. Diba sabi ko, yun ang concept ng incremental EPS. So, anyways, so ito, ang tama sa denominator nito ay ayun, 40,000. So, ang updated balance natin, magiging 650, tapos 155,000. So, pag dinivide natin yan, ang lalabas ay 4.19. Dahil bumaba, wala pa rin problema. Next, convertible bonds. Ang tama niya sa numerator ay 140,000. Tama, 140,000 to kapag kinumpute mo. Ang tama sa denominator ay 30K. Kaya ang updated natin ay 790,000. Tapos ang updated denominator natin ay 185. Kaya 790 divided by 185, tama ba? So ang lalabas ay 4.27. Anong nangyari? Dahil tumaas, ang diluted EPS natin yung lowest EPS. Di ba yun ang ating goal? To compute the lowest EPS. And the lowest EPS is 4.19. Okay? So this is the answer for exercise number 10. Totally no-brainer. Di ba wala pa rin ka-challenge eh? So this will conclude our discussion for exercise number 10. Thank you so much for listening. See you on the next video lecture and God bless you all. Hello guys! Welcome to REO's Financial Accounting and Reporting Review. So for this video lecture, we will discuss the multiple choice theories behind FAR 32. So meron tayong 12 questions na pag-uusapan, so huwag na nating patagalin pa. Number 1, in relation to PAS 33, alin daw ang maling statement? A, presentation of EPS is required for public entities, that is correct. B, when an entity presents both Conso FS and separate FS, the disclosures required need be presented only on the basis of consolidated information, that is again correct. An entity shall present on the face of the income statement basic and diluted EPS for income or loss from continuing operations, that is true. So kung naalala mo, pinag-usapan natin yung boy sa kakat sa presentation and disclosure. Letter dog, EPS computation applies only to ordinary shares. So that is again correct. So ang mali ay letter dog. An entity shall present on the face of income statement basic and diluted EPS for income or loss from discontinued operation. Kasi pag discontinued, either sa notes or sa face of the income statement. So number 1 is letter dog. 2. In accordance with PAS 33, alin daw ang maling statement? A. An entity shall present basic earnings per share even if the amounts are negative. That is true. Kasi pag negative, basic loss per share ang tawag doon. B. In computing basic loss per share, the required annual preference dividend on cumulative preference share shall be added to the net loss whether declared or not. That is true. Kasi sa basic earnings per share, pa-minus eh. So dahil loss to, pwede mo siyang i-add na lang kasi pareho sila ng nature. So letter C ang maling statement. Earnings per share shall be computed on the basis of ordinary shares outstanding at the end of the year. Hindi. Dapat weighted average outstanding shares. So number 2 is letter C. 3. Earnings per share should be reported for all of the following except. Napakadaling number 3. Cash flow. Diba? Kasi pag earnings per share, accrual basis yan. Ang cash flow statement, cash basis yan eh. Paano ka magko-compute ng EPS doon? And besides, wala tayong pinag-usapan na cash flow dito, kung napansin mo. Number 4, in computing basic earnings per share, when there are cumulative, underline the word cumulative preference shares, what is the amount that should be deducted from net income? The answer is letter A, annual preference dividend o yung 1-year dividend nila. Kasi kung siya ay non-cumulative, ang sagot natin ay letter dog kapag non-cumulative or preference dividends declared during the year. 5. If a new issue of shares for cash is made between the year and the date of the financial statements are authorized, take note, events after the reporting period yan. Pag-uusapan natin ang events after the reporting period on our future as one of our future topics. Pero to give you an overview, yan ay tinatawag na non-adjusting event. Meaning, hindi natin i-adjust yung mga previous EPS computation natin. Kaya ang sagot sa number 5 ay letter boy. Okay, next. 4. For purposes of computing the weighted average number of outstanding shares during the year, a mid-year event that must be treated as occurring at the beginning of the year is. So, ang tinatanong ng number 6, alin daw dyan yung nire-retrospective application natin? Eh, di ba tatlo lang naman yon? Stock dividend, share split, saka stock rights. So, ang sagot sa number 6 is Apple. Di ba wala? Basic pa rin, sir, kahit na theory, sobrang dali. Number 7, when using the if-converted method to compute diluted earnings per share, convertible securities should be included only if dilutive. So, number 7 is boy. Diba, kapag tayo ay nagkukompute ng diluted EPS, pag anti-dilutive, hindi natin i-consider. Ang dating, yung diluted EPS natin ay basic EPS din. Next, number 8. The if-converted method of computing earnings per share assumes conversion of convertible securities as of the beginning of the earliest period or the time of the issuance if later. Kasi kung for example, last year binili yan, so at the beginning of the year, outstanding na siya. So i-assume kung na-convert siya, January 1 or beginning of the year. Pero kung yan ay na-issue ng kalagitnaan ngayong taon, hindi mo January 1 i-assume na siya ay na-convert. I-assume mo siya kung kailan siya na-issue na let us say July 1. Kaya nga, if later, date of issuance. Kung earlier, beginning of the year. So number 8 is boy. Di ba yan actually, ilang beses natin ginawa sa exercises yan. Di ba, nag-a-assume tayo, January 1, paano kung in-issue siya kalagitnaan? Di ba, nagbabago yung computation ng potential ordinary shares sa diluted EPS. 9. When computing diluted EPS for a company with complex capital structure, what is the denominator in the computation? When we say complex capital structure, ito yung merong mga potential ordinary shares. So, di ba kapag ganyan, diluted EPS, ang computation ay waoso pa din. Pero ang waoso mo ay actual outstanding shares plus potential ordinary shares. Pero ang isasama mo lang ay potentially dilutive. Kaya number 9, the answer is letter dog. 10. Statement 1. In computing diluted EPS, interest expense on convertible bond payable shall be gross of tax. Mali. It should be net of tax. Statement 2. In computing diluted EPS, dividends on convertible cumulative preference shares shall be ignored. That is true. Kasi hindi mo na siya papansinin kasi nga as if na-convert yung convertible preference shares simula umpisa. So as ang assumption, walang na-declare na dividends kaya ini-ignore o hindi na siya binabawas sa net income. Statement 3. Under the treasury share method, the number of incremental ordinary share is equal to option shares minus assumed treasury shares. That is true. So number 10, the answer is letter boy. 11. When applying the treasury share method for diluted EPS, the market price of the ordinary share used for the assumed treasury shares is the average market price. Pero kung merong exercise during the year, ang gagamitin ay market price at the date of exercise. Kaya nga ang sagot ay letter boy. Okay, so market price at exercise date. Kung merong actual exercise. Pag walang actual exercise, average market price ang gagamitin. 12. For an entity having several different issues of convertible securities, share options and warrants, the standard requires selection of the combination of securities producing. Di ba? Ito yung pinag-usapan natin, paano kapag may multiple potential OS. Di ba? Ang gagamitin ay lowest possible EPS. Kaya ang sagot sa number 12 ay letter A. Diba, natapos na natin ang EPS ng walang ka-challenge. Lalo na yung diluted, kung kinakatakutan mo dati, naku, huwag ka nang matakot kasi sobrang dali lang ng topic na yan. Okay, so again, thank you so much for listening. See you on the next lecture and God bless you all.